Anyone who follows the no-contact rule experiences this feeling. Today we'll explore the true power of no contact. Have you ever felt the silence following a breakup, like a towering mountain that you can't overcome? The extended days without messages, calls, or any sign from your ex can leave you feeling overwhelmed, anxious, and wondering if you're doing the right thing. How time turns into your greatest asset, and why maintaining silence is essential to re-establishing control and appeal in any relationship, not just a ploy. No contact is a journey of self-discovery, self-respect, confidence, and the capacity to create a life you genuinely love. If you're feeling anxious, pressed, or uncertain, join me as we explore how time and silence can not only help you get over those emotions, but also change you into a stronger, more attractive version of yourself. Let's go on this trip together, and if you haven't already, subscribe to the channel right away. The upcoming insights will provide you the tools you need to not only get through this challenging time, but also move forward with courage and confidence. Examining the psychology of breakups. First, breakups are never easy, and shock is usually the first emotion you encounter. This is not unusual, because when someone you trust and love suddenly leaves, you feel like your whole world is falling apart. You didn't see it coming, and this makes you feel lost and disoriented, as if everything you built together has been taken away in an instant. Whether your relationship was filled with happiness or had its share of problems, the decision to break up from the other side always leaves a big hole in your heart. If the relationship was good, you wonder why did they leave when things were going well. If there were previous struggles, you think I tried to overcome everything, but they still chose to let go. Whatever the reason, the feelings of pain, hurt, and injustice are inevitable. Then you enter a phase of panic as your brain tries to make sense of what just happened. The feeling of emptiness in your mind urges you to do something to salvage the situation, and that's when many people start begging, pleading, writing letters, sending flowers, doing everything they can to convince their ex to come back. But you need to understand a harsh truth. This breakup wasn't an impulsive decision. When your ex says, "I don't want to be with you anymore," you might think it's a sudden decision, but in most cases they've been thinking about it for a long time. This isn't a momentary outburst of anger leading to a breakup after a big fight. They've taken the time to consider, plan for this. That explains why they can be so cold and decisive. Imagine the flow of water representing your ex's love in your eyes. That water is flowing strongly, and then suddenly they turn off the faucet. 1 second, it was gushing. Now it's completely dry. That feeling is not only confusing but also creates a deep fear that you will never get their affection back. The more you try to hold on, the more you see them build up emotional walls, becoming colder and more distant. This confuses you. How can they be so different? They used to love me, but the truth is, to be able to break up, they have to build those walls to protect themselves. They need distance to make this difficult decision without wavering. However, you need to remember they are human too. No matter how cold they seem deep down, they can't completely turn off their feelings of attachment to you. They are also struggling internally, even if you can't see it. Psychology explains that when we love someone, a strong bond is formed, both emotionally and biologically. Breaking up is not just ending a relationship, it's also the breaking of a deep connection. That's why you feel physical pain, sleeplessness, reduction in appetite, nausea, chills, tightness in the chest. These symptoms are not just a broken heart, but the body's real physiological response to being cut off from a bond. Remember, your ex is not immune to this either. Even if they appear happy, indifferent, or even start seeing someone new, it doesn't mean they don't feel anything. Initially, leaving may bring them a sense of relief. They temporarily escape the stress of the relationship. But as time passes, the void you leave begins to creep into their minds. At this point, your natural reaction is to want to do something to pull them back. But that's a mistake. When you chase and beg, you not only make them feel pressured, but you also reinforce their decision to break up. On the contrary, no contact gives them space to face their own emotions. When you walk away, the attachment doesn't disappear. It just switches from an active state to a passive state. Instead of constantly being reminded of your presence by you, they begin to feel your absence. When distance is established, they will go through the same emotional stages as you, from relief to confusion, then bewilderment and regret. They start thinking about you. What are they doing? Why haven't they contacted me? Have they moved on? These questions are not just signs of curiosity, but the first step in rekindling any remaining feelings. During this time, you need to focus on yourself. Turn the no-contact period into an opportunity to rebuild your life. This not only helps you recover, but also increases your attractiveness in the eyes of your ex. Remember, attractive people are not the ones who chase, but the ones who know their worth. When you stop chasing, you not only restore balance in the relationship, but you also make them realize that if they don't act, they could lose you forever. Time is your greatest ally. Trust that when you invest in yourself, you not only change your own life, but you also change the way they see you forever. Next, the power of time and no contact, the journey of emotional change after a breakup. In the early days, after a breakup, everything seems to fall into a whirlwind of emotional chaos. She may seem very confident and happy, but that doesn't mean this comfort will last forever. Initially, when she decides to leave you, a sense of relief often prevails. She believes she has resolved an uncomfortable knot in the relationship, as if freedom has just been bestowed upon her. However, time not only soothes this relief, but also completely changes her feelings about that decision. At first, she enjoys a state of indifference, feeling like she has overcome a challenging emotional hill. She may post cheerful photos, attend parties, or engage in lively social activities. However, all of these are masks that hide the feeling of emptiness that is silently emerging. The habits you once brought, the morning greetings, the warm presence now become a void that is difficult to fill. She doesn't realize it right away, but the quiet moments gradually reveal this absence. A familiar song, a street corner you used to walk together, or even a message that no longer appears on the phone screen, all begin to evoke memories. She made an effort to forget that time is a factor that cannot be rushed, but always works in its own way. In the beginning, she was positive that she was correct, but as the weeks pass, the initial relief gives way to other feelings. At first, there are slight doubts about whether this decision was the right one or if I was too hasty, and these feelings intensify as she starts to accept the fact that you are no longer there and that there is no more chasing. The power of time and silence comes into play here. Rather than attempting to contact her, you let her go through her own journey. As time goes on, she starts to feel the same emotions of grief that you did right after the breakup, but the difference is that she doesn't have you by her side as a source of comfort. No more sending messages to check in, no more trying to keep your silence. This becomes a mirror, forcing her to look back at what she has lost. Social pleasures or brief interactions only serve to highlight how different you are from other people. She comes to the realization that no one can ever fully understand and provide the sense of security that you once did, and insecurity gradually consumes her thoughts, particularly during quiet moments. She wonders, what is he doing? And has he moved on from me? And has I lost the chance to fix things? These questions are not only the product of curiosity, but also show a deep regret for her choice. You may sense this change through small signs, like her following you on social media, or indirect probing messages like, "Do you still have the shirt I left behind?" But this is when you need to be most steadfast. Breaking the silence too soon will diminish the effectiveness of the entire process. Let her fully feel the consequences of the breakup decision. If you contact or text her at this time, you are interrupting her emotional journey. You don't give her the opportunity to face the anxieties, insecurities, and feelings of loss that you once endured when she begins to regret. You will realize one important thing: you don't need to do much other than focus on yourself. She will realize that you are not just an ex-boyfriend, but someone she cannot replace. The time you invest in yourself, learning, growing, reconnecting with friends and family, will make you the best version of yourself. When she comes back, if she does, you will no longer be the man who begged or clung. You are the one who has matured through suffering, who understands his own worth and doesn't need anyone to define it. In addition to helping you regain your equilibrium, time, and the no-contact strategy, let your ex see how you really feel. Instead of hurrying to end this process, have faith in time, as it not only aids in your recovery, but also serves as the most effective means of radically altering the dynamics of the relationship. Number 3. No contact. The ideal moment to take back your own authority. The no-contact phase is a great time for you to regain your inner strength, as well as a tactic to rekindle your interest with your ex. After a breakup, your emotions can frequently spiral out of control, leaving you feeling confused and disoriented. However, it's in quiet that you can ask yourself, who am I really now that I'm not in this relationship? What makes me strong, independent, and valuable? Without communication, you can escape from obsessive thoughts about your ex, such as what they are doing or where did I go wrong, and it's like a pause button for all the erratic emotions. Taking a step back doesn't mean giving up. Rather, it means redefining yourself. When you are no longer preoccupied with their emotional interactions, you will start to see more clearly about yourself, the relationship, and what matters most in a relationship. You may have grown accustomed to prioritizing the needs of the other person, but now that you are not in contact, you have the chance to regain control over your life. You are no longer controlled by thoughts like, will they respond to my message? Or, what should I do to get their attention? But rather you choose how to better yourself. Thy Saxth's control is what makes you feel more self-assured and independent every day, making it the ideal moment to invest in areas you have neglected or learn a new skill. Take a class, start a project you've been putting off, or simply take time for your physical and mental health. Every step forward, no matter how small, helps you rebuild your image of yourself, not as someone suffering from a breakup, but as a strong individual moving forward. No contact is not just to make your ex realize your worth, but for you to realize it yourself. You don't need anyone to prove that you deserve to be loved and respected. As you gradually regain your confidence, you will realize that your value does not lie in whether others choose you, but in how you choose yourself. During this time, you have the opportunity to mend relationships you may have neglected with friends, family, and especially with yourself. These connections not only help you feel more fulfilled, but also provide a source of positive energy for you to move forward. Remember that no contact is not just about not texting or calling. It's how you tell the world and yourself that you are strong enough to live without validation from others. When you use this time to rebuild your life, you not only change how your sees you, but you also redefine how you see yourself. You will not only attract your ex's attention, but also serve as a source of motivation for yourself on the path ahead, if you use the no-contact period as a springboard to rebuild your strength, confidence, and self-esteem.